different type of Trump trouble. $454 million, that's a lot to anybody, not that much to Trump. But I read somewhere that every day he doesn't pay, he accrues $112,000 a day in interest.
Interest all day. I mean, you got to start with this. March 25th is the time that he has to secure the funding. And the judge said, listen, you're attempting to give me $100 million, which is great. But in New York, you have to have 110% of whatever the judgment is. And so the original judgment, $350 million, judge gave interest as well, dated it back to the time of the fraud. So that got us to $450 million. And so that's how he owes the $450. So he needed close to $500 million, not $100 million. So the judge denied his request, but he did remove one of the requirements of Judge Engeron's ruling. He said that you not allowing to do business with banks in New York for the next 3 years is something that we will remove to allow you to attempt to secure funding. I mean, you mentioned in the beginning, it's not a large number to him, but that's what Letitia James and her team is saying as well. If you're a billionaire and you have billions of dollars in assets, this $450 million should not be hard for you to come up with. But at the same time, your legal team is saying you don't have the funds without saying that you don't have the funds.
Now, being allowed to work with the banks to possibly secure the bond is something we often hear in criminal trials, right? Ensuring that somebody's going to show up there. How does a bond work in this instance?
The exact same way. Letitia James and her team says a prevailing plaintiff, a plaintiff that wins, has a right to protect their victory. And so to ensure that I get paid at some point, I as an estate in this time, or if I was an individual plaintiff, I want to ensure that you don't run off and disappear without paying me my money. Well, how do I secure that? I typically secure that with a bond or by taking and securing your assets. And so if you can't pay the bond, her team will go out and start taking assets. They'll start taking buildings. They'll start taking vehicles. They'll start taking land. They'll take whatever they can to ensure that the $455 million is secured. And so that is typically what happens. And you have to submit that funds while you wait to appeal. That's why we have the March 25th date. If he can't get a bond between now and March 25th, they will start the foreclosure and the forfeiture process, instantly attempting to take any asset they can get their hands on.
Is Trump ever going to be, or his business executives, will they ever be able to get a loan again? I mean, in New York,
it depends.
At some point.
When I listened to the trial, he had a number of experts, a number of folks from the banks come and testify on his behalf that said, listen, he paid off his debts when he borrowed them, even though these numbers may have been inflated. We didn't take those numbers into account. And so in a number of banking institutions' eyes, he still is a good gamble, a good bet. If you're looking at lending money to someone, you're attempting to figure out how can I mitigate risk? Is this an individual that I think won't have an ability to pay it back? While he may have had a number of times in the past where he has failed to pay individuals, the bank has said that this individual has paid us and has paid us well. And so I think there may be a number of banks out there that have no problem getting into this area with him. The problem is he has a mounting legal issues in every other place. And as you see his legal fees start to mount up across the country, cases in Georgia, cases in Florida, cases in D.C., this case right there in New York, you have to at least put that into the equation of will he have the means to pay us back? But his credit history shows that he has an ability to pay because they testified that he did.